Hello children, welcome to AIMS India's online classes. This is biology session. You are watching food production from plants part 1. You know children, all living organisms get their energy mainly from where? From food. We get food from plants and animals, isn't it? The science that deals with the growth of plants and animals for human use is called agriculture. What is agriculture? The science that deals with the growth of plants and animals for human use is called agriculture. Agriculture is the world's largest and most important industry. It is thought to have begun 10,000 years ago. Okay, 10,000 years ago it begin. So before that, humans were wandering for food gatherers, ate raw fruits and vegetables and hunted animals for food. Then they discovered that by planting seeds, they could grow plants that gave them food. This was the beginning of crop production. Okay? The humans no longer had to wander around to search for food. They became farmers and settled in farming communities. Today, nearly half of the world's workforce is employed in growing crops or looking after farm animals. In India, do you believe or not, 52% of the workforce is engaged in the agricultural sector. However, agricultural methods changed very slowly until about 100 years ago. But since then, there have been tremendous advances in agriculture, such as development of new varieties of plants and animals, use of fertilizers for better produce, use of pesticides for protection of quality, and use of machines such as tractors and harvesters, which are labor saving devices. So this has led to better quality and higher yielding of crops, higher yields of crops. In India, this agriculture revolution or green revolution began in the year 1960. As a result, the production of food grains has increased several fold. Agriculture can be broadly classified into three main categories. They are agronomy, means study and development of techniques for improving agricultural practices. Horticulture. What is horticulture? Cultivation of fruits, vegetables and ornamental plants. Animal husbandry, rearing and management of domesticated animals. Okay, are you ready children? Let us proceed. Food production from plants. So you have learnt that all living organisms require food. Plants can make their food themselves. That is why plants are called autotrophs. Can you recall how green plants synthesize their own food? Yes, by a process called photosynthesis. The green plants utilizes the carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight, okay, undergo a photochemical reaction and form a starch. Okay. The animals including human beings cannot make their own food. That is why we are called heterotrophic organisms. Okay. So where do animals get their food from? Yes, from either from plants or from other animals. Okay. So, herbivores, they get their food from plants and their plant products. Carnivores, they depend on animals and their products, isn't it? But first of all, why do we have to eat food? Okay, we eat food to get energy. You already know that the energy from the food is utilized by organisms for carrying out their various body functions such as digestion, respiration and excretion. Okay, we get our food from plants or animals or both, isn't it? So, the major crops in India, if you take so crop plants, actually the plants grown or cultivated in the field for food are known as crop plants or crops. A large number of wheat plants grown in the field make up a crop of wheat, isn't it? And in the similar manner, the cereals were the first crop known to be cultivated. Cereals are tall grasses which are cultivated for their nutritious seeds called grains. Okay? The cereals provide the staple food for the people in nearly every part of the world. The grains are rich in starch and also contain protein, vitamins, minerals and fiber. Wheat is the most important cereal in the world, followed by paddy, next one, or rice, and the next maize. Okay, rice, wheat, maize. Okay. Today many different kinds of crops are grown for food, okay, such as cereals. Cereals include wheat, paddy, maize, barley, ragi. Okay. Whereas pulses include gram, peas, bean, and oil seeds include mustard, groundnut, sunflower. Root crops include sweet potato. Tuber crops include potato, tapioca, and the sugar crop include sugarcane, beetroot. Plantation crop include tea, coffee, rubber, coconut, and fiber crops include cotton and jute. Okay. These are Indian crops. So, depending upon the geographical location, the type of soil, different crops can be grown. So, agricultural practices. In order to provide food for a large population, regular production of food, okay, the proper management and distribution of the food is necessary, isn't it? When plants of the same kind are grown and cultivated at one place on a large scale, what happens? It is called a crop. What is a crop? When plants of same kind are grown and cultivated at one place on a large scale, it is called a crop. For example, crops of wheat means that all the plants grown in a field are that of wheat, isn't it? You already know that the crops are of different types like cereals, vegetables and fruits. So, these can be classified on the basis of season in which they grow. Okay? India is a vast country. The climatic conditions like temperature, humidity and rainfall vary from one region to another region. Accordingly, there is a rich variety of crops grown in different parts of the country. Despite this diversity, two broad cropping patterns can be identified. What are they? They are kharif crops and rabi crops. In India, two main seasons for cultivating the crops. What are they? Kharif and rabi seasons. Accordingly, the crops grown in the seasons are known as kharif and rabi crops. Okay? What is a kharif crop? Kharif crop such as paddy require a lot of water. they are sown at the beginning of the southwest monsoon during June or July. So, they are harvested after the monsoon in September or October. So, some other kharif crops are maize, soya bean and cotton. Okay, the crops which are sown in the rainy season are called kharif crops. Okay. The rainy season in India is generally June to September. Example, paddy, maize, soya bean, groundnut, cotton, these are all kharif crops. Okay. What are rabi crops? The rabi crops such as wheat are sown at the beginning of the winter season, that is in the month of October to December, and are harvested by March or April. Some other rabi crops like gram, pea, mustard and linseed. Okay. So, these are the crops grown in winter season. They are called rabi crops and their time period is generally from October to March. So, examples of the rabi crop are wheat, gram, pea, mustard and linseed. Okay. So, beside these pulses and vegetables are grown during summer at many places. Okay. So, another season called jade or jayed. It is a season for vegetables or low grade cereals sown in the March April. So, this season is called jade, Z-A-I-D, okay, or jayed, Z-A-Y-A-D. Okay. So, this is sown in the month of March, April and harvested in the month of June. Okay. Next, the basic practices of crop production. So, once again the kharif crops, the crops which are sown in the rainy season are called kharif crops. The rainy season in India is generally from June to September. The examples, the rabi crop, winter crops, examples, wheat, gram, pea, mustard and linseed. Besides these, pulses can be grown in the month of March, April, that is jade crop. Okay. The cultivation of crops involves several activities undertaken by the farmers over a period of time. You may find that these activities are similar to those carried out by a gardener or even by you when you grow ornamental plants in your house. Okay. These activities or tasks are referred to as agricultural practices. The activities are listed below. What are they? Preparation of the soil, sowing, adding manure and fertilizers, irrigation, protecting from weeds, harvesting, storage, etc. Okay, there are 9 main. Soil preparation, which includes ploughing and leveling. Okay. Then next, the modern agriculture is carried out in a scientific and systematic way. It recognizes that for healthy growth and good output, the crops require oxygen, sunlight, water, mineral, nutrients, protection from weeds and pests, and proper storage after harvesting. It also recognizes that the needs of the crops such as soil type, nutrients, water, etc. Because these are all the different these are all different for different crops. Okay. Sunlight and air are abundantly available in the open crop fields. For other requirements, however, the farmer has to make some special efforts. The step by step methods of agriculture is the preparation of soil, followed by seed selection and sowing, followed by manuring, followed by irrigation, followed by weeding, followed by protection from stray animals, birds, pests and diseases, followed by harvesting, threshing and winnowing. Finally, storage. Isn't it, children? So, first step, preparation of a soil. So, soil anchors the roots of the plants and provides the nutrients and water to them, and also provides oxygen to the roots. The microbes and other organisms such as earthworms in the soil help to keep the soil fertile. The preparation of the soil involves loosening and the turning of soil, isn't it? The preparation of the soil is the first step before growing a crop, and one of the most important tasks in agriculture is to turn the soil and loosen it. So, this allows the roots to penetrate deep into the soil. The loose soil allows the roots to breathe easily even when they go deep into the soil. Why does the loosening of the soil allow the roots to breathe easily? So that the air, the spaces are formed, those spaces filled with the air, oxygen. The loosened soil helps in the growth of earthworms and microbes present in the soil. So these organisms are the friends of farmer, since they further turn and loosen the soil and add humus to it. But why does the soil need to be turned and loosened? Okay, number one, loose soil has a lot of air trapped in it, which is used by the roots to breathe easily. The second one, loose soil allows the roots to penetrate deeper, thus securing the plant more firmly. The third one, loose soil helps the growth of earthworms and microbes in the soil. They provide nutrients to the soil and aid in further loosening of the soil. Turning and loosening of the soil brings nutrient rich soil to the top. The plants can then absorb these nutrients more efficiently. Loose soil mixes more uniformly with fertilizers. Okay? That's very important. You have learnt in the previous classes that the soil contains minerals, water, air and some living organisms. In addition to this, dead plants and animals get decomposed by the soil organisms. In this way, the various nutrients held in the dead organisms are released back into the soil. Okay, what is that form? In the form of humus. Okay. So, these nutrients are again absorbed by the plants. Okay. So, since only a few centimeters of the top layer of the soil supports the plant growth, that is called topsoil, turning and loosening of the soil brings the nutrient rich soil to the top so that plants can use these nutrients. Thus, turning and loosening of the soil is very important for the cultivation of crops. The process of loosening and turning of the soil is called tilling or ploughing. Okay? Ploughing or tilling. So, this is done by using a plough. The ploughs are made of wood or iron. If the soil is very dry, it may need watering before ploughing. The ploughed field may have big pieces of soil called clumps. It is necessary to break these clumps with a plank. The field is leveled for sowing as well as for irrigation. Okay? The leveling of the soil is done with the help of a leveler. Okay, children. So, sometimes the manure is added to the soil before tilling. So, this helps the proper mixing of the manure with the soil. The soil is watered before sowing. Okay? The process of loosening and turning the soil is called tilling or ploughing. It is carried out by using a wooden or iron plough, which is pulled either by animals or by tractor. The iron plough are more popular these days. The tilled soil may have big lumps of soil, and these need to be crushed and the soil should be leveled. This is done with the help of a wooden or iron leveler. Leveling also prevents the erosion of soil by wind or water. So, agricultural implements which are used: plow. So, before sowing the seed, it is necessary to break the soil to the size of grains to get better yield. This is done with the help of various tools. The main tools used for this purpose are plow, hoe and cultivator. What is a plow? It is an important implement. Okay, it is an agricultural implement made of wood and is drawn by a pair of bulls or other animals. It contains a strong triangular iron strip called plowshare, which is attached to a, okay. So, this is the plow, you can see here, okay. So, it is attached to a long log of wood which is called a plough shaft. The other end of the plough shaft is attached to a beam. So, this is attached to a beam, okay, which is placed on the bull's neck here, okay. The indigenous wooden plough is now increasingly being replaced by iron plough, okay. Plough is being used since ancient times for tilling the soil, adding fertilizers to the crop, removing the weeds, scraping of soil, etc. This implement is wonderful, and it is made up of wood and is drawn by a pair of bulls or other animals like horses, camels, etc. It contains a strong triangular iron strip. It is called plowshare. The main part of the plough is a long log of wood which is called a plough shaft. There is a handle at one end of the shaft. The other end is attached to a beam which is placed on the bull's neck. One pair of bulls and a man can easily operate the plough. The process is called ploughing, okay. The indigenous wooden plough is increasingly being replaced by iron ploughs nowadays. Okay, the iron plough is the another diagram given here. So, mechanization of agriculture using of mechanical devices, the tractors, the iron devices which will save the labor and time, okay. The modern agriculture techniques. And the second device is hoe. Hoe is a simple tool which is used for removing the weeds and also loosening the soil. It has a long rod of wood or iron. A strong, broad and blunt plate of iron is fixed to one end of its ends and works like a blade. It is pulled by animals. This is the hoe. Hoe is having a grip, a handle, beam, rod, a bent plate, etc. And the next one is a cultivator. It is a device used to attach to the tractors or tractor cultivator. Nowadays, the ploughing is done by tractor driven cultivator. The use of tractor save the labor and time. Okay, hoe. The hoe is a simple tool. It is used for removing the weeds and ploughing the soil. It consists of a long rod of wood or iron. A strong, broad and bent plate of iron is fixed to one of its ends and works like a blade, and it is pulled by animals. Okay. Okay, children, these are some of the agricultural devices. We will continue in the next class. Read the textbook. Okay. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon for receiving latest updates.